Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for taking part in today's webinar on the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center. My name is Alana Inman, and I'm the manager of the center. And I'm very excited to introduce you to the center and everything it has to offer. The Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center is part of the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, or TSLAC. The center is located at 650 Farm to Market Road 1011 in Liberty, Texas, and open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 4. The center is the only regional historical resource depository, or RHRD, that TSLAC owns. Most RHRDs are located at other institutions, such as colleges and universities. Many people are not aware of what an RHRD is, much less what the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center is. This is largely due to the center's somewhat remote location in Liberty, a small city with a population of only around 9,000 people. Liberty is located in the middle of Houston and Beaumont, about an hour from each. For a historian or genealogist, knowing what an RHRD is can be vital to your research. And for those of you researching Southeast Texas, knowing what the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center is can be even more important. That is why this presentation is designed to do three things: explain the Regional Historical Resource Depository System, provide an overview of the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center, and describe some of the center's archival collections and how to access them. But before we get started, I want to share with you a little about the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, the state agency of which we are a part. The main TSLAC facility is located in downtown Austin, Texas, by the Capitol building. You can access TSLAC's main collections at the Archives Reading Room there. On the screen, you can see an overview of TSLAC's mission and the services and programs our agency provides to Texans. Today's webinar is part of our mission to provide Texans access to needed information. You can also see the three service areas of TSLAC listed, with the Sam Houston Center being one of those. If you want to learn more about our agency, please visit the agency's website at www.tsl.texas.gov. Right now, it's time for your introduction to the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center. Now, I mentioned the center is part of TSLAC's RHRD system. So what is that exactly? Well, in 1971, Article 5442B, known as the Regional Depository Law, was passed with the intent to save local government records. A statewide legislative committee survey had found local government records were being destroyed and irrevocably damaged throughout the state. But Texas was just too big and had too many counties for all the local government records to be brought to the state archives in Austin for preservation. As a result, the law authorized regional depositories to be established by the Texas Library and Historical Commission, which was an earlier name for TSLAC. These depositories were to be established in partnership with colleges and universities for the purpose of preserving local records and keeping them close to their original homes. 23 RHRDs exist today throughout the state. Each RHRD collects, preserves, and makes available historical local government records from specific Texas counties. There are three words I want you to pay attention to in that description. The first is historical. RHRDs do not collect every local government record ever created. They collect those deemed to be of historic value. The second word is local. So these are the records of local government officials, not state government records. And thirdly, specific. Each RHRD serves a designated group of counties that are located near it. The RHRD will only collect local government records from those specific counties. If a county has no designated RHRD, then the records are located at TSLAC headquarters in Austin. As originally planned in the legislation, RHRDs are typically located at colleges, universities, and libraries that can provide proper storage for the records and access to the public. These RHRDs sign an agreement to hold the records on behalf of TSLAC, which is the owner of the records. So to summarize it as simply as possible, historical government records are transferred from local government officials to state government, specifically to TSLAC, and are housed within TSLAC's RHRD system. You can learn more about the RHRD system at www.tsl.texas.gov/about-RHRD. So what type of records are you going to find at an RHRD? Which government records are considered historical and could be transferred to an RHRD by a local government official? Those are going to be deeds, vital records like birth, death, and marriage records, tax records, land records, court case files, probate papers, school records, voter registration records, and sometimes records that will surprise you, like some of the ones we will discuss later that have found a home at the Sam Houston Center. You can find the contact information and some holdings information for each RHRD on the TSLAC website. You can get to the web pages with this information a few different ways. You can visit the About RHRD webpage address I gave you on the preceding slide and click on links that will take you to the information. You can even get to the information by first going to the Sam Houston Center's webpage at www.tsl.texas.gov/SHC and reviewing the information there on local government records. But I'm going to make things a little easier and take you directly to the web pages you will need to find the RHRD for the county you are researching and the microfilm holdings that RHRD has. First, let's find your RHRD. There's a list of all the RHRDs, which counties they serve, and the RHRD's contact information at www.tsl.gov/arc/depositories.html. This web page tells you which RHRD you need to contact to request a particular county's records. Now, those records can be in the form of microfilm, which can be sent to you via interlibrary loan, meaning you can have the microfilm sent to a library near you with a microfilm reader. Or the records could be in their original paper format. In that case, they could be viewed by visiting the RHRD in person. So basically, they're going to be in microfilm or in paper at the RHRD. You must contact the staff of each RHRD directly to learn more about the depository's paper holdings. But you can find a list of what microfilm each RHRD has online. The microfilm holdings within the RHRD system are organized by county and available at www.tsl.gov/arc/local/index. If you scroll down that page, you will come to a list of county records housed at the main TSLAC facility in Austin. Those are going to be the counties that don't have a designated RHRD at this time. And then below that, you'll see a list of county records at other depositories. Those are the ones at the RHRDs. So all you have to do is click on the county in which you're interested to see the microfilm holdings that would be found at that county's RHRD. If a local government record is no longer in the custody of the original local government office, it should be at the RHRD for that county. Government records are to remain with either the local government or be transferred to state government, to TSLAC. But sometimes things happen, and you may find local government records at a local library, museum, or historical society instead. If you cannot find something, don't forget to check those places too. Also, many local government records have been digitized and are available through Ancestry.com and FamilySearch.org. Both services that are available to use at the TSLAC facility in Austin and at the Center in Liberty if you do not have a personal account or subscription. But remember, the county's RHRD should be your first stop for finding a historical local government record that is no longer at the originating local office. If you want to learn more about locating county government records, I encourage you to view the recording of a previous webinar in this research series that was on that subject. You would go to the same website that I'm sure you registered for this website webinar on to view those past recordings. That's www.tsl.gov/ARC/workshops. Now, we've already mentioned that the Sam Houston Center is one of TSLAC's RHRDs, and that is the only one TSLAC owns, instead of it being a separate entity with which TSLAC has signed an agreement. That is the result of the generosity of various groups and citizens in the Southeast Texas area. Following the passage of the Regional Depository Law in 1971, Marion Price Daniel Sr., commonly known as Price Daniel, and a man who had held more elected and appointed positions in Texas than anyone else, informed State Librarian Dr. Dorman H. Winfrey that he and his wife Jean planned to leave land and funds for historical preservation and educational purposes in Southeast Texas. As a result, an amendment was passed to the original law that made it possible for the commission to accept the property and then seek private funds to build a Southeast Texas RHRD. Price and Jean Daniel donated over 100 acres of their land in Liberty, Texas, for construction of the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center. Private funds were raised for the building's construction, and the center opened in 1977 as the state's official regional historical resource depository for 10 counties in Southeast Texas. The 10 counties for which we hold records are Chambers, Hardin, Jasper, Jefferson, Liberty, Newton, Orange, Polk, San Jacinto, and Tyler. A visit to the center is multifaceted. It is home to restored historic buildings, a museum, and a research library. In addition to the main building, 5 other buildings are on the property. The Gillard Duncan House, built in 1848 by a Creole immigrant family. The Norman House, built in Liberty around 1883 and occupied by a few different families. St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, which served Liberty for nearly a century after its construction in 1898. The Holdazetta Rotary Building, built in 1927, and possibly the only building ever constructed and owned by a Rotary Club. And the Jean and Price Daniel Home and Archives, but built in the early 1980s and patterned after the Texas Governor's Mansion, which was originally intended to have wings, as the Daniel home does. These buildings are used for special events, museum exhibitions, and tours by appointment. Within the main building, a museum houses revolving special exhibits and the permanent exhibit, Atascocito, The History of Southeast Texas, which explores the life and development of the center's 10-county area from prehistoric times through the modern era. Among the items on display are Clovis points from 13,000 years ago, artifacts from the first Spanish outpost in the area, El Orcacusac, Sam Houston's private executive record from his second term as President of the Republic of Texas, and many examples of the center's local government records, such as log brand books, the area's first women voter registration receipts, and naturalization records from immigrants coming to the area to work in the rice industry. But our focus today is on the center's research library and collections. The center's collection is estimated at 12,000 cubic feet, which means if you put everything side by side, it would run for 55 football fields. The collection consists of the local government records that are the center's main focus as an RHRD, but also manuscript collections, family histories, maps, blueprints, fine art, photographs, artifacts, audiovisual materials, newspapers, books, and more. Records date from around 1826. To give you a few examples, the holdings include a number of family history papers, including correspondence, photographs, legal documents, and journals from Southeast Texas families. One of these collections, the Julia Duncan Welder papers, has everything from Civil War muster rolls to records of early cattle drives. There is an extensive newspaper archive with newspapers from the counties we serve, some dating back to 1855. The Hardin papers, with Mexican government records prior to the Texas Revolution. Price Daniels records as Attorney General, Governor, and U.S. Senator, and even an original 1823 letter from Andrew Jackson to Thomas Jefferson, introducing then Congressman Sam Houston. So let's talk about the local government records the center houses as an RHRD. The center has many of the government records already discussed as often being found in RHRDs. Marriage records, probate records, deeds, tax records, court case files, election records, and some lesser known records like prison registers, marks and brands, and even scalp bounties. We can tell you who got caught providing moonshine, what brand your ancestor used to mark livestock, and a host of other interesting facts about your family history and the region's past. Like other RHRDs, the center has county records on both microfilm and in paper form. While there can be some duplication between the two formats, we only have one or the other for many records, so you do need to check both formats. The list of microfilm available can be found on the same webpage as the microfilm for other counties at RHRDs. www.txs.gov/arc/local/index. One would simply click on the links for the 10 counties the center serves to see what microfilm holdings we have for each county. As with other RHRDs, you can request this microfilm be sent to a library near you that has a microfilm reader via interlibrary loan. But like the other RHRDs, you would need to come to the center to view our paper records. The list of paper local government records available at the center can be found at www.txl.gov/shc/countyrecs/index.html. So to see these paper records, you would visit us, and appointments are not required to visit the center and conduct research. We do encourage you to communicate with us first so we can have the records that will be most useful to you pulled and ready for your arrival, but that is not required. If you are searching for a record that you don't find on either of these lists online, either the microfilm or the paper lists, and you've been unable to find it anywhere else, please do call or email us just in case we have the record, but it has not been added to the list yet. So, what about our non-government records? We have a very large collection of records that are not just the local government records coming in for our service as an RHRD. So what about those family papers, business records, and similar collections? Some finding aids are available online for our manuscript collections, images, and other records. You can find those on our webpage, www.tsl.texas.gov/SHC. They're under the collections heading. So by clicking on the collections heading at the top of our webpage, or just simply scrolling down our webpage to the collections section, you'll come to a list of all of our finding aids, all of our online ones. We have many that aren't online yet. That list of online finding aids is in alphabetical order. Alternatively, you can locate our finding aids by searching Texas Archival Resources online, or TARO, at txarchives.org. This will allow you to use search terms to help locate exactly what you need. You can limit a TARO search to a particular repository, in our case, the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. By searching TSLAC's finding aids, you will get results for finding aids from Austin and from Liberty. To only pull results for the Sam Houston Center, you will need to add those words or others from our repository name into your keyword search. As I mentioned, what you see on our webpage and what's in TARO are just the finding aids that we have been able to place online. We're working on getting as many online as we can, but it's important for you to realize the majority of our collection is not yet represented on our webpage or on TARO. That is why we strongly encourage calling to speak to one of our reference librarians about what non-government records we may have to assist with your research project. To truly get the full benefit of the center's holdings, you need to speak to a staff member or visit the center. One more place you can look for archival collections from the center is TSLAC's Texas Digital Archive, which houses digitized collections from the Sam Houston Center also, since we're a part of TSLAC. Go to www.tsl.texas.gov/Texas Digital Archive and click on the icon for Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center, which is circled in red on your screen. This will take you to the page of Sam Houston Center collections on the Texas Digital Archive. You can see the icons for the government records, manuscript collections, and prints and photographs that have been digitized from the center's holdings. You will be able to search and view the collections listed there online. The center also has an extensive book collection that can be searched in TSLAC's online catalog, which is available on TSLAC's homepage, www.tsl.texas.gov, or you can reach it directly at tsla.sirsi.net. Our book collection includes county histories, church histories, indexes, local periodicals, and many other publications. To search only the publications located in Liberty, use the online catalog's advanced search feature to choose a location. Filter the results for only those located at TSLAC Collection in Liberty, Texas. So now that you know all the wonderful resources at the Sam Houston Center, I'm sure you are going to want to contact us. The contact information for the Sam Houston Center is on the screen, along with that of the main TSLAC location in Austin. I hope you will reach out to us to arrange a visit or to inquire about what records we may have that will assist with your research. The easiest ways to reach us are by calling 936-336-8821 or emailing us at samhoustonCenter@tsl.texas.gov. So in summary, we've talked about how you can find local government records that are no longer at the county level in TSLAC's regional historical resource depositories. You've been introduced to TSLAC's very own RHRD, the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center, which is home to a variety of historical buildings, a museum, and a research library where you can access the center's historic records and artifacts. And we've covered the variety of research resources available at the center and how you can access them, whether it is online or by calling or visiting the center staff. So I want to thank you for spending time with me today, and I will be happy to answer any questions anyone has about the center.